I'm back out in the shop playing around, nothing serious, nothing pressing, just moving on, getting things done, that sort of thing. So let me show you what I did. I have the box, the three-phase box open. Let me show you what I have so far and what I'm going to do here next. Welcome to 3D Accuracy, where I'll talk about 3D printing, 3D product design, and 3D injection and die-cast mold design. So what I decided to do is this new wire that I brought in to connect to the idler motor and move it across the shop, I determined that I can bend this wire into position and get it to go up underneath in replace of this cable, the one that's currently attached to the motor. So I can loop this around and it'll look okay, and then it'll go up in there. And it's a very simple setup. I mean, I have the green wire goes to the ground, that's obvious. The white wire goes to the first connection on the bottom here. The red wire goes to the middle connection, and the black wire, you can't see it, but it's there, runs up to the top connection. So I'm just going to disconnect this wire that's currently in there. Then I'm going to cut this guy off so that I can bare the wires, get rid of the cladding on the outside, and feed them up in there, and then remake the connections. And that way I don't have to move this one over, because there's another hole here which I haven't punched out, but it's larger in diameter, and so I'd have to go to the store and get a larger connector to hold the wire in position there. You can see it underneath. But I thought, oh, if I can loop this one around and it fits and it doesn't look bad, then okay, I'll do that instead. Then I don't have to mess with this side. I just leave it alone. I'll just pull this wire out, the old one, and slip the new one in. Then I can take the idler motor and I can move it across the shop, because I already have the new wire for the idler motor running back to this corner. It's all up in position, and you can see it comes down alongside the sub panel here, and here's the new wire for the idler motor. And then what I'll do temporarily, the idler motor is going here, just so I have it out of the way and behind the machine. Then, as soon as I have all of that finished, I need to jump back on this machine and find out where the air leak is in the compressor system. The compressor is fine, the line is fine, there's a leak in here somewhere. And I have to find that so that I can keep the machine running and use it, because with the leak in it, it automatically shuts down the machine when the air pressure drops. So one step at a time, I'm going to go ahead and cut this cladding off of here, and then I'll pull this other wire out and put the new wire in and start there. And then if I feel like it, what time is it anyway here? It's about 3:45. So I'll see how it goes. I'm not going to press myself. I'm just going to enjoy being out here and doing things in the shop, getting stuff done. Okay, so let me work on that, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Making good progress. Let me show you where it's at right now. What I decided to do was to take that line, that cable that was coming in, and just loop it around and back up and under. That way I didn't have to move any of the connections on this side, move that over, or get another connector. I don't need the other connector because I just use the one that I have underneath there. So it works out really well and looks okay. Not a big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and close this panel up, put this guy back together. And then what I need to do is clean the floor down here, get this cleaned up. And I'm not going to move the compressor and the transformer over into this location until I test this one more time. But the wire's all through the shop, and I moved the idler motor. That's over here right now. And what I want to do is clean some of this glue off the floor. When I laid the peel and stick planks, they were so nasty with glue. I'm still cleaning glue over a year later, I'm still cleaning glue up that's coming through the planks. They were really messy. Wasn't real happy about that, but what are you going to do? So anyway, then once I get the floor clean, I'll push this motor back in a little bit, not all the way in the corner. It'll be out here. And then I'll open up the little junction box in here, pull the old wire out, and then I know by the colors, red, white, black, and green, which one connects to what in the inside of the wire. And all I got to do is do the same with these wires here. So they'll just replace, and that'll be it. Then I can test it. Then I can turn the power on. I can test it, make sure the idler motor's running okay. And then temporarily it will stay here until which time as we move it outside. So let's close the box. Well, change my mind. I'm prone to do that. It's okay. What are you going to do, right? Okay, let me show you what I did. How's that? I decided to push the air compressor back in there anyway, put the transformer up on top of it, and it wasn't as heavy as I thought it was. I was able to easily lift it up and put it up there, so I thought, okay, that's not too much weight. Should be okay. So I went ahead and decided to, all right, closed up the box, took all the painter's tape off the wall. I decided, let's finish this corner and be done with it. So I put everything in position. And it's still very easy for me to get in here and turn it on, turn it off. I can reach everything, flip the circuit breaker here that supplies power to the cable here that goes to the transformer that goes to the 3D printer. So everything is easy reach and it looks okay. See, you don't even see all those cables back there. Just a little bit, and who cares, right? As long as it works. Well, it's the next day, and I'm back at it. Let me show you what I've accomplished so far. Making progress. Always like that. Okay, I have the corner cleaned out. I have the idler motor in position. I opened up the little box on the side, pulled the wires out, the old wire, and just getting ready to prep the ends of the new wire here and get that guy put in. One thing I did do is before I marked these. The white wire needs to connect with this one. Which one is it? The black wire needs to connect with these here, and the red wire needs to connect with these here. So I have them all marked so that I do it exactly the same as I did before. So I've got this wire just about prepped, and you see what I did here? You see how I've got this long squiggly of the sheathing pulled out? I don't cut these. You know, I like to, if I'm just working from the end and I just need a short distance, I start peeling it out and I just pull it out by hand and unwind that to get that metal clad out of the way to where I need it. And so much easier to do than cutting it. I just pull it back. And so just a little trick, if anybody hasn't discovered that before, it works. It works from both ends, although from one end it's a little trickier, a little harder to do than the other end, because one is from the inside on this end, and on the other end, back where I put it into the three-phase converter box, that was on the outside, you know, the way the sheathing is wound, and it was easier to pull the outside when you're going from that direction. But it works from both ends. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to get back to this and get this rewired and put back together, and then maybe we'll give it a little test spin, turn the electric on and make sure everything's working properly. All right, I'll show you what I have after I get this part done. Idler motor's connected, box is closed up. Time to flip some switches, see that it works. Okay, she's all put back together, new wires attached. I'm just going to leave this bundle of wire here temporarily until we move it outside. So, time to flip the switches. Let me just check, just make sure, one last peek, make sure everything's okay before I start turning things on. All right, this guy is off. Okay, I want to make sure this guy's off so no electricity goes to the 3D printer, to this transformer or the 3D printer. All I want to do is turn on the panel, and which should turn on the motor, and then just make sure that the motor's running. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, first we'll flip the circuit breaker carefully because there's electricity in here. Okay, and that's good. That did not come on, which is exactly what we want. Okay, so now there should be power to the panel, to the three-phase panel, and we should be able to start this up. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you're ever in need of 3D product design, 3D injection mold design, 3D die-cast mold design, or 3D printed prototypes or production parts, please feel free to contact me. You can find contact information in the video description. I look forward to hearing from you and to being of service to you. Thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate it. See you on 3D Accuracy's next video.